Good day, everybody. I hope that you're well, and also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 8 English lesson on multiple meaning words. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once you've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of English Language Arts. Grade 8. And then we're going to scroll down up until we get to our chapter of multiple meaning words. All right. So our chapter is multiple meaning words. Our subject is English Language Arts. Grade 8. And the lessons that we are going to be focusing on under the chapter of multiple meaning words is which sentence matches the definition, and which definition matches the sentence. All right. So when it comes to multiple meaning words, right? So some of the words have more than one meaning, and that is why we hear the word. I don't know. I couldn't change the name. I tried to change the name on the side, as you can see. Um, okay, you won't be able to see it. I tried to change the name, but unfortunately, I need to now first go out, cancel before I can go and change the name again. But yes, you may ask a question. Grade four today. You may ask a question. I'm not sure. Is it grade four for English or for maths? I'm really not sure. I will find out now. Because this is English grade 8, right? All right. So when it comes to multiple meaning words, right? So we say that some of the words have more than one meaning, and that is why we have our chapter, which is called multiple meaning words. It's like more than one word, right? And you're welcome. Words that are spelled as well as pronounced the same way, right? So words that are either spelled the same way as well as pronounced the same way, but they have different meanings. We call them homonyms, right? So we call them homonyms. So homonyms are words that are spelled the same way. They're also pronounced the same way, but they have different meanings, right? And if we look at an example, right, it says Jessica struck the match and held it against the tinder to start the campfire. So there we have the word match, right, which means that it is something that you use in order to light a fire, right? That is a match, or to light a candle. So that is a match. Then we also have another word, which another word, or let's say another meaning that is, but we also use the same word. It is what color furniture would match the maroon carpeting. All right, are you sorted now? So here we have both word match, right? So match, which is to strike a match where you either light a fire or you light a candle, right? That is the first word match. Then we also have another word match. It's like, for example, which goes with which one, right? It's like I'm matching the curtains with this, or I'm matching my red t-shirt with my red sneakers, or I'm matching my yellow t-shirt with my orange something, because yellow and orange maybe matches, you know? So if we look at both of those words, right? Both of those words, they are spelt the same way, match. They are even pronounced the same way, match. But the meaning of those words are different, and we call them homonyms. All right. And then we have words that are spelled the same way, but they have different pronunciations, meaning the pronunciations are different. It doesn't sound the same. And the meanings are also different, right? So which means that words it's spelled the same, right? The spelling is the same way, but they have different pronunciations, as well as the meaning of these words are different, and we call them homographs. All right. And if we look at a few words, right, it says the double bass, right, is the largest string instrument in an orchestra. So the double bass, sorry, is the largest string instrument in an orchestra. And if we look at the word bass, it basically rhymes with case. So that is how we need to pronounce the word bass, case. And then we have another word, right? And can you see these words are spelled the same way? BASS. And this word bass, right? It is a variety of spiny, finned, fresh water and saltwater fish, right? And this word bass it rhymes with grass. So bass, it rhymes with grass. And it is a variety of spiny, finned freshwater and saltwater fish. And as you can see, both of these words, the meanings are different because the first one is a large string instrument, and the other one is a spiny, finned freshwater and saltwater fish. The meanings are different, they sound different, the pronunciation are different. It's just that they're spelled the same way, and we call them homographs. So homographs are words that are spelled the same way, but they have different pronunciations and meanings. Whereas we have homonyms, And homonyms are words that are spelled the same way. They're also pronounced the same way, but it's just that the meanings are different. All right. So, once again, these are multiple meaning words. We either have homonyms or we have homographs. And we said when it comes to homonyms and homographs, we have some of our words that have more than one meaning. We either have words that are spelled the same way or they're pronounced the same way, but they have different meanings and we call them homonyms. And then we also have words that are spelled the same way, but their pronunciation as well as the meanings are different and we call them homographs. Right? All right, so now we're going to aplusstudents.ca and we're going to continue with our lesson, which is which sentence matches the definition and which definition matches the sentence. And then we're going to our test. All right, so which sentence matches the definition? All right. And we see that some of our words have more than one meaning. We have homonyms, right? Which are words that are spelled the same way and pronounced the same way, but they have different meanings. And then we have homographs, which are words that are spelled the same way, but they have different pronunciations and different meanings. So now we're going to say which sentence matches the definition. All right. It says which piece of text uses the meaning of season? So which piece of text uses this meaning of season? So season, right? It's either a verb. We can either use it in a verb where it is to add salt, pepper, your spices to your food, or season can be your different seasons like your summer, winter, autumn, spring, right? So that is season. And if we look at the sentence, right, it says, being able to properly season meat is what separates the amateurs from the professionals, the cooking instructor said. So if we look at that word season, is it to do with summer, autumn, winter, spring? Or is season to do with adding your spices, your salts, your peppers? And if we look at that specific sentence, right, being able to properly season your meat, right, that specifically means it is to do with your spices. So which means that we use the verb season, which is to add salt, pepper, or spices to your food. That is, putting spices on your meat or in your food, right, to add taste. All right. The next one says, so here we say the word season has more than one meaning, right? That was what we made mention of. Season is either your summer, autumn, winter, spring, or we have where you add salt and pepper and so on to your food, right? So the word season has more than one meaning. So the question that you need to ask yourself is season either to add salt, pepper, or spices to your food, or do we talk about during rainy season, which starts either November and lasts through January, right? That is to do with seasons, meaning it's the period of the year, and we have four seasons, right? All right. If we go into the next one, it says, which piece of this text uses the meaning of interest? All right. So there's different words or different meanings to the word interest, right? And here we say the word interest has more than one meaning. So we have the one word interest, which is a noun, which is attention or concern, right? So the one word interest is attention or concern. And it says, how much interest will you have to pay on a loan you took out for your new car? So that word interest, right, is to do with it's a means of charge when you borrow money. So when you borrow money, maybe from a bank, right? or when you make a loan, and then it means that you need to pay interest. So if you borrow, for example, let's say 1,000, I'm gonna say dollars, then maybe you must add an extra $20 to it. That's your interest, right? All right. And now, lastly, which piece of text uses the meaning of staple? We have staple as in, when you staple pages together to form a booklet. So that is staple, or staple can be like a form of food, right? So if we look at the word staple, right? Staple has more than one meaning, right? So staple is a necessary food item, right? So it's an item of food. And it says Maggie removed the staple from the article she was reading so she could more easily compare the graphs that were on different pages. So in this case, staple is when you staple, let's say, pages together to make like a document or a little booklet, right? And that is a short piece of wire that is bent to fasten the papers. And then we said staple is also food, like your rice. I think that pup in our country we call it pup. So those are staples. All right. So now we're going to our test where we are going to say which sentence matches the definition. All right. So now they say which piece of text uses the meaning of season? Uses the meaning of season. Remember we said we have different meanings of season. One is part of the year, and the other one is where you're adding spices to your food, right? So during the rainy, it says here season, verb to add salt, pepper, or spices to your food, right? So now option one says during the rainy season, which starts in November and lasts through January, many parts of the Oregon coast receive more than 10 inches of rain each month. Or being able, option two, being able to properly season meat is what separates the amateurs from professionals, the cooking instructor said. All right, and if we were to choose the correct one, which is to season, to add salt, pepper, spices to food, we would say it is option two, being able to properly season meat is what separates amateurs from professionals. So that is option two. All right. The next one says, which piece of text uses the meaning of ray? Which uses the meaning of ray? And ray is uncommon. Is it option one, Jackson prefers to eat well done beef and lamb, but Yin prefers hers rare? Or option two, which says, in the antique shop, Mr. Norman found a rare hardcover edition of Mark Twain's Life on the Mississippi, published by James R. Osgood and Company in 1883. All right, and if we were to choose the correct one, which is uncommon, we would choose option two. Something that you haven't seen in a long time, something that is uncommon. Because the other ray is how well done you want your meat, right? All right, which piece of text uses the meaning of interest? And this interest is attention or concern. So, interest, attention, or concern. Is it how much interest will you have to pay on the loan you took out for the new car? Option one. Or option two, Philip doesn't show much interest in astronomy, but Lisa spends hours studying celestial objects through her telescope in the backyard. So option one or option two. And if we were to choose the correct one, where interest means attention or concern, then we can say option two, Philip doesn't show much interest in astronomy, but Lisa spends hours studying. All right. Which piece of text uses the meaning of hamper? Hamper. Hamper is a large basket with a lid. So hamper is a large basket with a lid. Is it option one? The planned lane and ramp closures will likely hamper the flow of traffic into the city, the newscaster reported, or option two, no, I haven't seen your skinny jeans. Mrs. Delgado said to her daughter, have you looked in the laundry hamper? So, hamper is like a basket with a lid, like the laundry basket, laundry hamper. All right. And if we were to choose the correct option, we'll go with option two, which is the laundry hamper. All right. Now we're going to say which definition matches the sentence. Which definition matches the sentence? All right. So what does ray mean here? It says about the size of a quarter, the Mount Charleston blue fly is a rare species found only in the spring mountains of southern Nevada. So, rare, is it uncommon or is it to do with meat? And if we look at this word, then we can say this ray means uncommon. All right, let's go to our test. And it says, what does issue mean year? Issue. The city of Westminster plans to issue a bond of more than $6 million for a variety of infrastructure improvements. Does issue mean it's a noun, which is a matter of importance or discussion, or issue to supply or distribute an official way? So, issue. And if we were to choose the correct one, we'll go with option two. All right, it says, what does compact mean year? Compact. It says Japan's compact capsule hotels consist of many rooms that are each about 6 feet long, 3 feet wide, and 4 feet high. Compact. Does compact mean a formal agreement between two or more parties? Or does compact mean packed closely together? So option one or option two. And if we were to choose the correct one, then we would say it is packed closely together. All right. So we said multiple meaning words. They are words with different meanings, right? We either have words that are that have the same that have different meaning. So the words are pronounced the same way or spelled the same way, but the meanings are different, right? And that we call multiple meaning words. One word, but there's different meanings to it. All right, so this is now the end of our lesson. on multiple meaning words. Thank you very much, grade 8, for joining the class, and I really hope you're going to have a good evening further. So, till next time, goodbye.